Fizzy Soda is saying, what in your opinion is the best Israel-Palestine solution? One state, two state? I mean, Hamas, some local Muslim extremist elements don't recognize Israel's right to exist, right? Confused ex-Muslim. You want to go first?
All right, so
here we go. Quickly, Armin, quickly. We've got 20 minutes. Please.
No, I can't. Okay, so here's the thing. It really depends on what you mean by solution. You mean the solution. There's three different ways you could answer this. Can we go back in time and fix things, or as of things are right now? And as of things that right now, if what we're saying would actually take, people would do it, like, because I have some solutions that I think would work, but it's not, my solutions are not really a solution when nobody's going to do them, right? So they're not technically solutions, right? I don't think, based on what people will actually do, I don't think there's a solution. I think it's going to be miserable for a very, very long time until a solution is forced upon the situation, because the situation cannot go forever. There is no solution because the solutions that I have is things that Israelis and Palestinians will never do based on the current conditions, right? I mean, the best solution was the two-state solution, right? And I know a lot of people are like, no, the two-state solution is like giving into the Israelis, and this is not their land. Nobody gives a crap. They do give a crap. Nobody should give a crap about who was here first, okay? It doesn't matter. We were here 3,000 years ago. Well, no, that's too old, like too far back. We were here 100 years ago, and this was like you just came from Europe. It doesn't matter. The people, once you go past one generation, the people who are born here, you cannot hold them responsible for who came here for what reason. Okay, they are born there. I just want to
emphatically interrupt and say yes, absolutely. This is one thing that I wrote about too. Yeah, go ahead.
One generation passes, it really doesn't matter what the history of it is. The people are there. You have to deal with them. You can't kick them out. The Palestinians who are there, they're there. The Israelis who are there, they're there. You have to deal with it. And given that situation, here's the thing: I would prefer a one-state solution. But the thing is that the hate and the racism and the dogmatic, like, religious ideology has corrupted the minds of Israelis and Palestinians so much that the one-state solution is not going to be. It's going to be very ugly. Okay, it's going to be very ugly. Okay, the ideal situation would have been a two-state solution. I don't like the two-state solution because that would be like promotions of like separating people based on race and religion, which is nonsense. But the thing is that what do you do when people hate each other so much? Then the two-state solution would have been the most ideal situation, given that these people hate each other so much. But the two-state solution is not possible thanks to people like Netanyahu, with all the settlements. Thank you very much. So Netanyahu is basically, people like Netanyahu who has forced the one-state solution on their own country, which is eventually going to
and Israel as a Jewish state, as Jewish democratic state.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, the thing, like, Israelis who fear Hamas and Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic of Iran because they think that the greatest threats to Israel is a Jewish state. I'm sorry, none of those things are at all a threat to Israel, to the existence of Israel as a Jewish state. It was the call is coming from inside the house. It was Likud. Likud has made the one-state solution at some point inevitable, and it's not going to be pretty. So it's going to be forced on Israel, and it's going to be a very ugly process, in my opinion. So that's what I think. What you want to answer?
Yeah, everything that you said. You're right. The ideal thing, it should be one state, because religion is a really dumb reason to have any kind of state. Like, it's just a really dumb reason. There's no such thing as everybody believes in. You should believe in the right of Israel to exist, but then what do you mean by Israel's right to exist? Does that mean they have the right to militarily occupy people against their will? Of course it doesn't. Whenever people are saying, "Oh, you don't believe in the right of Israel to exist," we just don't believe in their right to occupy people against their will. That's what it is. The settlement, everything Armin said. I'm not going to expand on it too much. Yes, there should be a two-state solution. I don't think it's going to happen. I wish when there were two secular states and they could agree on things, but it's not going to happen. Ultimately, this is going to end with Israel either having to be a Jewish state or a democracy, but it's not going to be both. And it's going to be a pariah. And all of those things that people said.
It cannot remain a Jewish state because there would mean two-tier citizenship with Arabs having being the lesser citizens. If you know, this is, they know this.
And that is actually the textbook definition of apartheid, and people don't like using that word. It's a very, very loaded word to use for that reason. But the thing is, even if you define it very strictly and you don't think it's there, that's where it's going to end up. It will be all of those people who are saying that it's an apartheid state. They're eventually going to be right when that happens. And it's going to be because of Likud and Netanyahu and secondarily Hamas.
But that's not going to last. Eventually, if you look at the population between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea, there are more Arabs than Jews, right? And eventually, these people need to have equal rights. If you want to have if the solution is a one-state solution, and Israel will become an Arab country. However, I think these people, their plan is to make the situation so horrible, living conditions so horrible, that I think their only solution to keeping it a Jewish state is by making the Arabs migrate out, by giving them bad living conditions.
Do you think that's intentional? Because honestly, like, it's not like the surrounding Arab countries are known for taking in refugees. I mean, Egypt has. Remember again, like, just this can't be emphasized more enough. Egypt has control of the southern border of Gaza. Egypt could open up that border and let all of the Gazan people in.
It might not be the Arab countries. It might be like these, as more of these Western countries become like, oh, we're pro-Palestine, Israel's going to be like, oh, you are pro-Palestine? Well, take them.
No, that's not gonna. That ship has sailed. I mean, that's why you have Brexit today. I mean, that is not happening again.
We'll see.
It's not happening again.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.